Unitec Political Forum today, where Mount Albert candidates are debating for the Mount Albert by-election on June the 13th. We have ACT's John Boscawen, Nationals Melissa Lee, the Green Party Russell Norman, and Labour's David Shearer.
Mount Albert gets a proper say in all the issues that affect them, the super city, the tunnel. We've only got one tunnel person, pro-tunnel person here today. Good on you, well done. And these are the sort of people that I want.
I'm now going to open this up into what is an open answering question session. If you have a question, it must be a question, not a statement. And please, you need to direct these questions at one of the candidates. So, are there any questions? Okay, coming on through.
What roads are killing us?
So the question for Russell Norman is, would you be pushing for an accessway into Unitec from the west because it is filling up the roads around Mount Albert?
I think, as I said before, my first preference is to actually improve the rail system, which will actually reduce congestion. In particular, there's different parts of the rail system that are missing, and I'm meaning that it doesn't work, particularly the Avondale to Onehunga line, which is what the designation was for originally. So I would also, I think, to make the rail system also work well, you need to put the tunnel through the end of Britomart and loop around. And you would actually get much better services and transport access to Unitec if you actually improve the rail system along those lines. That's my view. I actually think you get much better transport outcomes if you improve the public transport system. And the evidence internationally is that in big cities, what you find. So, hey, you in the blue, can you get out of the way? Sorry, just trying to talk to the woman who asked the question. So, what you find in big cities is that internationally if you invest in public transport, it's the only thing that reduces congestion in large cities. I know it doesn't make sense on first instance. You think you can keep building more roads, but actually it just doesn't work. Anyway, that's my answer.
Thank you, Russell.
If you're so interested in people's eyesight, why is the ACT Party so one-eyed about the environment and about global climate change?
I'm extremely interested in people's eyesight, and did you realise that it costs $4,000 to have a cataract surgery done to eye that takes 15 minutes, and for an elderly person who's trying to live on $20,000 as a couple, they have to pay $8,000 to have cataracts. In terms of climate change, the reality is that world temperatures have actually declined each year for the last 8 years. The temperature has actually declined. It's a scientific fact. You can actually measure the temperature, and it has declined. Now, what the ACT Party has done is, and I talk about those 5 votes the ACT Party represent, we've been able to force a review of the emissions trading legislation in Parliament, and that's been a very, very proven, it's been a very successful thing, because the Australian government have also backed down and have postponed the implementation of their emissions trading scheme. And the emissions trading scheme is going to add probably $2,000 or $3,000 in costs per family or per household unit in New Zealand, and it's something we do actually have to look at, because you've actually got the scientific evidence saying to you that the planet has been cooling over the 8 years. Why would you ignore it? And just that, and coming back to your question, I think what Russell Norman was telling you just how impractical his solution is, because he would stop the motorway at Mount Roskill, he'd have the traffic flowing onto the streets of Mount Albert, and completing the link, you don't have that.
Thank you.
Years ago, Unitec applied for university status, and the Labour government declined it. If you became the MP for Mount Albert, would you support Unitec's application to become a university? And how would you get this done in opposition?
I have to be honest about this one. I don't know a lot about the application and how we go through. I'm happy to sit with you, talk with you, and see evaluate the case. And if there's a good case, I would certainly support it. I would love to have a university sitting in the middle of my electorate, absolutely. So I don't have any problems about that. I do think, however, that the Labor government has been very good to students, good to universities. We doubled the amount of money in the 9 years that we were in power to education, from $5 million to $10 million. But I'd like to have maybe